this week, yes, this was a big week. Shandy, how are you feeling? Yeah. Steve, how are you feeling? A little tight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was a big week. And starting off with the deadlifts, right? Just kind of right away, we got it. So this today is going to focus mostly on kind of the backside with a little bit of side stretching. But yeah, we're going to take care of the glutes and hamstrings and all that stuff. We're also going to practice a little bit of breathing where you can hear your breath. Okay? There's a certain type of breathing in yoga called the ujjayi, which you don't need to know that name. What you need to know is that it's a ocean sound. So we're going to create a breathing pattern where you can hear that ocean sound, mostly on the exhale. The inhale is a little bit harder, so we're going to start with the exhale. And what's nice about this is this kind of breathing can help when you're feeling unfocused. This kind of breathing can help rein in your focus because there's a sound associated and kind of a feeling with it as well. Okay. So let's find a comfortable seat. So maybe that's on the shins, maybe that's cross-leg, maybe that's straddle, whatever we can do to keep the torso up, that's how I want you to sit, okay? And then we're going to close the eyes, hands go anywhere that's comfortable. Okay. And all you're going to do is just breathe through the nose. So gently close the mouth and no kind of pattern here, just a normal breathing cycle where you're just kind of feeling that inhale and exhale through the nose. So a couple rounds here. All right, and to start to kind of cultivate that ocean sound, you're going to let the exhale kind of roll over the back of the throat, almost like you were whispering to somebody, but with the mouth closed. So it'll create a nice big sound. So inhale normal, and then exhale, let it kind of roll over the throat. It's almost like you're fogging up a window, but again, with the mouth closed. So inhale, let the breath roll over the back of the throat. Still exhaling through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale over the throat. Now a couple more cycles like this. And just really find that good ocean sound on the exhale. Two more cycles. All right, and now maintaining a little bit of that ocean sound as we go through kind of the positions and stretches today to just kind of help keep your focus kind of grounded in the stretch and the movements we're doing. So from here, we can keep that breath going through the nose, but I want you to find a reclined position on your back. And you can open your eyes if you need to, or just keep the eyes closed. But we're going to lay all the way back. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Okay. And we're going to go through a couple windshield wipers. So arms anywhere that feel comfortable. They can go out like a T or by the sides. But you're going to let both knees fall over to the right side. And that left knee is kind of in line with that right foot. So almost as though it would be stacked. It doesn't have to actually touch. Bring the knees through center and then let the knees fall over to the left side. You're going to go through that a couple times. Let the knees drop. To the other side. One more each way. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring the knees through center and then into the chest for a little squeeze. And we'll go into a full spinal twist here. So keep the knees together, arms out like a T. On your exhale, just drop the knees over to the right. And you're going to allow your torso to relax. Find a little bit of that ocean sounding breath. So inhale through the nose and then hear that exhale as you go through. And inhale will bring the knees through center. And then your exhale will bring the knees over to the other side. And then finding that relaxed position in the upper body as you breathe. Good. And next inhale, bring those knees back to the chest. Give them a squeeze. And then we're coming into a reclined hamstring stretch. So extend your left leg onto the floor. Right leg goes up towards the ceiling, and then grab for the back of the leg wherever you can. And you're grabbing in a way that the shoulders can soften. So your upper body is still relaxed and you're just feeling some of that tension through the right side. All right, on your next exhale, we're going to switch. Gently allow that right leg to come down to the floor. The left leg will go up. Grabbing for the back of the left leg wherever it feels most comfortable, softening the upper body. Breathing through the nose and creating that ocean sound on the exhale. All right, on your next exhale, go ahead and release that left leg and bring both knees into the chest. We'll squeeze. All right, now placing your left foot flat on the floor, your right foot is going to go over and above that left knee. And you're going to push that right knee away from the chest. Okay, before we come into a glute stretch, we're actually going to drop that left knee over to the left and let that left leg come with it. Drop the left knee all the way over. That right foot is still over and above that left knee. And then arms can go out like a T if that feels comfortable. A little bit of a twist here. Inhale to bring that left knee through center. We're going to go into a glute stretch here. So keep that right leg where it is. Draw the left knee in. We can come into that figure four. So you can thread that right hand between the legs, grab for the back of the left thigh or the left shin. And just kind of breathing through the nose to feel, just feeling some of that tension in the right glute. Exhaling with that ocean sound. Good. Next, exhale. We'll go ahead and release. Right foot will go flat on the floor. Left foot goes over and above the right knee. And then we gently draw the left knee away from the chest. And from here, your right knee will fall over to the right to come into a gentle twist. The left foot is still connected to that right leg, and you're feeling maybe the twist coming from the back. Maybe you feel a little outer hip. Arms can go out like a T if that feels good. And then inhale, we'll draw that right knee back through center. Coming into the glute stretch, so keep the left leg where it is. Inhale to draw the right knee in. Grab for the back of the right thigh or whatever you can. And then find that ocean sound. Good. All right. On your next exhale, go ahead and unwind. Bring the knees to the chest. And then we're going to start rocking forward and back along the length of the spine. We're going to go 3 or 4 rocks. And then on that 3rd or 4th rock, we can rock into cat-cow. So we'll come into a hands and knees position. And then we'll go through a few sets of cat-cow. So you drop the belly, we lift the chest. And then we round. You can also kind of wiggle the hips side to side. Anything that feels good here. All right. Now let's get into downward facing dog. We'll plant the palms about shoulders distance. Let's tuck the toes and just gently lift those hips. Your hamstrings may be a little tight from this week, so we'll take a couple counts here to pedal out the feet. Give yourself a little bit more lift through the tailbone. So tailbone up towards the ceiling will give you more length in the backs of the legs. All right. Now let's set your feet about a little bit narrower than the mat. So not as like about mat's width, but make sure your feet are still on the mat. And then from here, walk the hands back towards the toes. We're going to come into a fold. Soften the bend in the knees, and then you can grab elbows, and we'll just let the torso hang. The head relaxes, the neck releases. We can sway side to side, shake the head yes and no. Good. And then from here, just bring the hands to the hips. Bend those knees a little bit, and on your inhale, we'll just slowly come to a stand. Okay. You guys will probably want to face that way. We're going to come into a wide leg position. Okay. And then from here, we're going to inhale. We're going to reach the arms up. And then on our exhale, we'll just bow forward, coming into this wide leg fold. So just like the fold we were in, you can soft bend the knees and grab the elbows and let the torso hang as we sway. Walk your hand, like bring your hands down to the floor, walk them over towards that left side. So try to reach your chest towards your left shin, get a little bit more focused stretch on that side. And inhale to walk the hands through center and go over to the other side. So bringing that chest towards the shin. Inhale, we'll walk the hands back, and then hands on the hips for a gentle stand. Go ahead and rise all the way up. Okay, I'm just going to reset here. Okay. Next, we're going to go into half squat, Cossack. This can be kind of different positions based on what you need. So let's bring the fingertips to the floor. We're going to bend our right knee. And for those that feel more inner thigh here, maybe we stay with this foot flat and just kind of a high hip position. If you feel like you've got more space, you can keep the heel down. We can drop into that fullest expression. And kind of like move the knee around. Try to get the right heel on the floor. Use the hands so that you can balance and elbows can push into the knee on that right side to help kind of open up the inner thighs. And then bring yourself through center. And then same thing, we can start bending the left knee. We can be high on this position to get that inner thigh. If you've got that extra space, we can come down, trying to move that left knee so that heel can start loosening up if it's not on the floor. And then you can take your left elbow and push it into that left knee to help give you more space. Good. And then we're going to inhale to bring yourself through center. And you're going to reset your feet so your toes are forward, but we're still in the straddle. And now our fingertips are on the floor here. Okay. We're going to come into a gentle twist. So inhale, we're going to lift this chest forward to try to flatten out the back. Left fingertips will stay on the floor, and then your right arm is going to go up to the ceiling as you roll the ribs back. Exhale, we'll bring you down. We're going to switch. So first inhale to create more length through the spine, flat back. And then on your exhale, we're going to twist. And we'll exhale to bring that hand down. And then we're going to walk your hands forward. Let's see, you guys are on the right side because we're going to come into downward facing dog. So walk the hands to the top of the mat. And then you're going to step the left foot back into down dog. Couple breaths here. You can shrug the shoulders and lift the hips. If you want a little extra, we can raise the right leg, bend the knee, open the hips up. And just find some movement in this down dog. Good. All right, let's reset down dog. And then on your exhale, we'll drop the knees down and come into child's pose. So toes together, knees apart. Sit the hips back, arms out. And let's just rest your forehead on the mat for just a couple breaths. Try to soften the shoulders. All right, next, coming into side stretch here. So from this child's pose position with the arms out in front, we're going to start walking the hands to 2 o'clock. So over to the right. Your left hand is going to do most of the work here. So you're going to reach through the left fingertips, and then anchor the left palm on the floor. And as that left palm is anchored, you're reaching your left hip back. You can play around with rolling the left ribs down towards the ground and up as though you were peeking under the armpit. Just notice where that changes the stretch or the intensity. And then let's inhale the hands through center now. And then on the exhale, we'll go to the other side. So right palm is the focus here. So grounding that right palm down as you reach your right hips back. And then playing around with some movement here, rolling the right ribs up to the ceiling as you look under the armpit or down towards the ground. And then inhale, we'll walk the hands through center. Let's hang out here in child's pose for a couple more breaths. So let's see if we can reset and find that ocean sound. So let the forehead come to the floor, breathing through the nose, and hear that sound on the exhale. A couple cycles. All right. Inhale. We'll bring us to the hands and knees. And we're going to come into Spiderman stretch. So let's go down dog for just a hot second so that we can step our right foot forward and then bring the back knee down. And then from here, we can let this right knee kind of fall over to the side. And if you've got the space, we can come down to the forearms. All right, on your next inhale, we're going to come onto the hands. And then we're going to come into pigeon. So we're going to shimmy this right foot all the way over to the left. And then right knee drops down. And so we can stay on the hands. We can go to the forearms. We can make fists so our forehead can rest and have some softness in the upper body. If your hips are really high off the mat, you can kind of roll to the outer right hip for a little more support. Feeling through that ocean sound on the exhale. And be here for a few moments. bring you onto the hands. Lift our chest up. And then we're going to take this left knee and bring it in. And then this right foot is going to go out. Okay. And we're almost like a straddle. So knees are kind of in the same angle. Okay. And we're trying to take this left hip and just kind of anchor it down on the ground a bit. Okay. Now from here, we're going to fold forward. It's going to feel a little bit interesting on this left side, right? That internal rotation probably feels a little bit different than we're used to. Okay. Inhale, we'll walk the hands back. And then let's go hands behind. And we start to lay back a little bit. Might not be able to lay back very far. And you might feel a lot of tension in that hip crease. As we do, we can get in there and do a little manual massage, or you just kind of breathe through the tension. And hopefully over the course of a few cycles of breath, it will relax. And inhale brings you onto the hands. And then we're going to slowly get into cat-cow to do a little reset. So get there however you want. You can wiggle the hips side to side. You can do some body rolls, whatever feels good here. And then we'll take it into down dog for just a quick moment. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. And then on your next exhale, your left foot will come forward to the outside of the left hand and your right knee will come down. And now we can let this left knee fall over to the side. And if we've got the space, we can come down to the forearms, trying to get that inside elbow down first. All right, coming on to the hands. We're going to shimmy this left foot over to the right, coming into pigeon. And maybe this side feels the same or different. So again, you can use the two fists for someplace for your head to rest. If your hips are high off the mat, we can just kind of roll to the outer hip to make it so that it's sitting on the floor. Just however we can relax in this position. And try to find and hear that ocean breath on every exhale. Let it roll over the back of the throat. All right, inhale, coming out of this. Nice and gentle. We're going to bring this right knee in and up. Left leg into that straddle. So your knees are at about 10 and 2. We're going to anchor this right hip down so it's a little more even. And then first thing, we're going to bow forward. Ooh. Is that side tighter? You get it. Ooh. Again, if this feels odd, we just don't do this kind of position often. So it will. All right, inhale, come to that seated position, and then we're going to lay back. Enter slowly. And again, getting into that hip crease if you feel a lot of tension and restriction. All right, inhale, bringing yourself back up. And then we're going to roll into hands and knees again. So just gently finding your way there. Couple cat-cow just to reset. And then we're going to come into puppy pose here. So we keep the hips over the knees. Your hands will move, but your hips will stay as they are. We're going to walk the hands out in front, only as far as you can keep the hips stacked over the knees. And then from here, we're arching the back and we're drawing the chest down as the tailbone lifts. We're looking for that big stretch through the armpits. All right, inhale to come out of that. Just a quick puppy pose. And then we go into thread the needle. Thread the needle is a twist. And so the non-working side is going to do work. Okay, so if we're on our left side, my right arm is going to do some work here. So left arm is out, and we thread the left arm through and come to the left shoulder. Now this right hand, push it into the floor, and that press is going to help you rotate the torso up. You feel that twist from the middle of the back. And keep driving that right palm down to create the leverage to twist. All right, inhale. Come to the hands and knees. And let's go the second side. Right arm out. And then exhale, thread the right arm through. Come to the shoulder. And then that left hand assists by pushing into the ground to rotate. All right, and inhale. Come into the hands and knees. Little wiggle. And then we're just going to find our way onto our backs. So however you want to get there. And when we get there, you're going to draw both knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze. Make little circles one way with the knees and the other way. All right, let's come into happy baby. So we're going to grab the outer edges of the feet with the hands, and then the elbows are going to be inside the knees. And let's first start by stacking the feet over the knees so that as we draw down and pull down with the hands, we can feel a big stretch through the hips. Trying to draw the tailbone down so we flatten out our lower back. And then once you've hit that position, you can then start playing around with straightening the legs one at a time or both. You can rock side to side. You can bring the feet over the head. Good. And then release the feet and bring the knees to the chest. Coming into a spinal twist. Keep your right knee in, extend your left leg onto the mat. And then before we twist, you got to scoot your hips over to the right a little bit so that as you let this right knee fall, you feel that you're rolling to the outer edge of the left hip. Gravity will do the work here, so let everything fall. That right shoulder drops. Right knee descends. We're not pushing into the twist, just softening into it. And finding that ocean sound. Every exhale is a release. Inhale to gently bring that leg through center. Hug both knees in. And then we go to the second side. So now left leg extends, scoot the hips to the left, and then allow yourself to soften into the twist as the left knee drops and the left arm extends out. All right, next inhale, draw the knees back through center and hug them into the chest. And let's come into a tight little ball. So you're going to bring your forehead to your knees. You're going to squeeze the shins with your forearms. You're going to take a big inhale through the nose, tight little ball. And then open the mouth, side out. And extend the legs onto the mat for our final rest. Arms anywhere that's comfortable. And if you can, still hold on to that ocean sounding breath on the exhale. And just keep your focus there for this last few minutes. Slowly start to wiggle fingers and the toes. Reaching your arms overhead, full body stretch. And from here, just rolling over to the right side for just a moment before we set up. And then when you feel ready, you can come to a comfortable seat. Keep those eyes closed. And I want you to take 5 more cycles of that ocean breath. So we'll just close out here. I really want you to hear and feel your breath. 5 cycles. All right, gently opening the eyes. Thank you guys so much for coming in to do your yoga today. We've got a big cycle coming up, and one of the things that happens with this cycle, with all the strength, is you can just sometimes feel tired and feel just like you need a little recovery. This is a great way to help that central nervous system. So I will see you guys next week, and enjoy your day. Thank you.